This conference will now be recorded.
We couldn't have session, but we planned on Saturday, the same session which we missed on Friday. So we had discussed about a couple of no, important things about the methods that sort with and sorted methods. So that's good. Now I'm going to discuss the next topic, that is list set. The only difference is it's a combination of, if you see, when you talk about list, there are two things about list. One is list allow duplicates the insertion address preserved because internally it uses what is that a kind of indexing. Of course, even though it uses linked list for storage or the underlying data structure, as it is a sequential data structure, so the insertion address preserved in list. So that is also one more thing. And now when you say list set, it is also immutable, and it is a combination of a list and set. Internally, it has two types of data structures, underlying data structures. What is it? It has a linked list as well as it has a hash table. Probably set generally uses a hash table. Okay, so that's what it has. Okay, and then both are same. You can see that the point, but the only difference is list set doesn't allow duplicates because it also has underlying data structure as what this hash table, so that so it doesn't allow duplicates. Other than that, the rest of the stuff is same like list, how we have tested. Okay, you can see there it is heterogeneous, and also what is that uh, it is dynamic insertion address preserved, but only thing is it doesn't allow duplicates. That is the difference between list and list set. Otherwise, we don't, the methods, everything which we apply here, even same here. Okay, this is another sibling of this sequential sequence, if I'm not wrong. But let's do one thing. Let us quickly check the hierarchy, because probably this should be the hierarchy. The immutable part is this sequence, linear sequence, and where is list set here for us? Mm, not linked to the hash set. This is mutable. Okay, this one. Okay, I think it's not under. Sorry, this is coming under set actually. I was thinking it was under sequence. Then the problem is solved, right? When it is a child of okay, set obviously it doesn't allow duplicates. Okay, I didn't check that part. Okay, but anyhow, now it's crystal clear. So what I want is we have done list here. First, I will do one thing. I think the order is not. I missed the order now. I'll do one thing. We can come back to this again. First, let me finish sequence. Then we will go to the list again, so that it will be, we have a proper order here. So point is I have done list here, and queue or stack or stream, they behave almost, they have a similar kind of qualities, but internally there will be a little change in the implementation classes. But and the methods, probably most of the methods we apply on this and these collections would be same. Okay, but the difference is, maybe I can explain about queue and stack quickly. The difference is queue follows a principle. That principle is first in first out. Usually we have learned this somewhere in the data structures in our BTech or in our like PG post graduation like MSc or MCA. Somewhere queue follows something like principle, that is first in first out. That is the one thing what we can talk about queue. And then stack, when you talk about a stack, is something uh, which uses lost in first out. Means I have discussed somewhere about stack also sometime back, discussing about the execution flow of methods. Methods are executed from something called a stack. So usually what the point is, stack uses what it uses, last in first out. These are the differences, and the way we create objects and the way we add elements, other things are same. We can test them. That's not big problem. Okay, so that is difference. Stream, I didn't, honestly, I didn't check much of the stream. We can check little later, because what is the reason? The way we apply on anything is almost same, because I told you, right, if you are really good with list, the methods, the behaviors, everything is almost same for this, with some changes, as we have discussed. Difference between indexed sequence and linear sequence. What is it? Usually indexed sequence uses some indexing internally. I don't mean that linear sequence doesn't have indexing, but even though it has indexing at our level, internally it uses some linked list or a tree kind of data structures, and here it uses some dynamic array or some other kind of data structure here, and those are the differences. And we have seen when it is best fit, when linked indexed sequence is best fit, when linear sequence is best fit. So that's how it is. Okay, so now what I am doing is, I am also discussing one implementation class of indexed sequence. Already we have discussed about array and string. We have discussed like how array works, types of arrays like 1D array, 2D array, and then all that stuff. And also, what are the methods which we apply on, again, the list, the similar methods we can apply. I mean, at least almost, okay, I don't say not 100%, but in most of the cases, okay, most of the methods which are there are applicable on even array, string, range, numeric range, vector. Okay, so okay, can somebody mute your machine? Okay, thank you. So I think you are following, right, sir? So that is the point. So now we have already finished all this. Array, string is done, and we have seen the methods in the same methods, but of course we didn't apply map, all that stuff. Still now you can apply all that. If you ask me how, why, how can we apply that? Because these methods are coming from traversable and iterable and sequence and indexed sequence. They can be applied on these, implementation classes. And by default, most of the methods are coming from traversable or iterable, and few methods specific to sequence and specific to linear sequence are implemented on these methods, these classes. Okay, so anyhow, while doing, programming or different things, if anything is there, I keep updating you. But now let us quickly finish these collections and jump to the next topic, because the way we work with collections is same. Once you are really good with one collection, the methods, all that stuff is almost similar, with some differences, like as we had discussed, like difference between list set and list, because list doesn't, set doesn't allow duplicates, whereas list allow duplicates. That difference you know very well. And coming to this, indexed sequence, right, the base major differences here is the underlying data structures, okay, and the approach of implementation, and when it is best fit. Usually indexed sequence is best fit when you are doing what operations, sir? When you are doing update and retrieval operations, sir. And the linear sequence is best fit if you want to prepend means add something at the beginning of your data structure or collection, then this is best fit, linear sequence, these things. And again, when should we choose queue? Means when you want first in first out. Whenever we add something element and it has to be popped up first or removed first, in such cases we prefer queue. And then stack means there are some scenarios where we try to implement stack, like it follows a principle last in first out. In that situations, anyhow, we understand that when we are working with things, okay, you don't need to get worried or panic about that. Okay, so now I am talking about vector, one important implementation class of indexed sequence. Okay, so now let's talk about that. So what is it? Vector. So what is vector here means? It's nothing again. These are all immutable classes. We know that these are immutable at memory level. And then also, right, we can also change the objects as well. If you try to change, a new object is created, and we need to initialize that object a new variable. We had discussed this number of times in our discussion. Okay, and it is clearly saying when you should use this. If you want to use a general purpose immutable indexed sequence, simple. Okay, then you have to go for vector. And when you say something is immutable, we always know that what is that? The elements in the collection cannot be changed, and the collection cannot be resized. If you want to resize it, even that's not possible here because this is immutable. Okay, and then after that is uh, indexed, right? When you have something indexed, you can, that's what we had a discussion. We can access those elements, we can retrieve elements, we can update elements. That's so quick for us. So we prefer, if you want to have a quick update or quick retrieval, you can go for this. What is this? Indexed data structures, like this one, indexed sequence implementation classes. Okay. Suppose this is the right, the index of something. If you want to access this through, what is it, a linked list, you have to move from one node to another node. This takes a lot of traversal time. But if you do the same thing with direct indexed data structure, this indexed collection, you can choose that index directly and apply on the variable, and you can get that data from that. So which is much more faster when you compare it to the linked list, correct? Is that clear for all of you, sir? So in that way, that's best fit. Okay. Now after that is and of course the equivalent thing in mutable is they were saying array buffer, that we'll talk about when you finish this hierarchy. Okay. Immutable hierarchy. Once we close it, we'll switch to the mutable hierarchy. Then okay, then we can discuss this. Now I'm quickly jumping to the examples. It doesn't take much time for us. I just want to make sure we discuss this and finish this today, so that tomorrow I can switch to the set, and then after that I can switch to the map. Probably in this week, if we can try to finish collections, I am saying I am not sure, but if you can finish collections, then one of the bigger topic in Scala will be covered, and the most important topic is completed. Will be completed. Okay. So now the point is, what is that, sir? This distinct thing, I don't need to talk about it because you know very well why do we need distinct, just to get elements without duplicates. That's what distinct is. Even vector allows duplicates, right? Because it is an indexed sequence. Same features which are applicable for linear sequence, except the performance related differences. Mostly the features are same here. When you talk about even vector, even though it belongs to a different hierarchy, so it is indexed, as well as second thing, insertion order is preserved as well, and then third thing, what is that, sir? Duplicates are allowed here. Okay, and it is also dynamic. So these things doesn't change, sir. And it is also heterogeneous. If you want to make it homogeneous, still you can do that by applying generic type. Okay, right? We had a discussion about how to make something generic. You have to mention the type. When you mention type, it becomes homogeneous. It cannot be heterogeneous. I told you it is recommended to use homogeneous data rather than heterogeneous data to avoid these issues, what we call class cast exception. Usually there will be a lot of casting issues we come across this what is that with heterogeneous data. So we don't, if you don't need that, then definitely making homogeneous is the most recommended thing in a real-time use case. Okay, so that is one more thing, sir. And one more important question people keep asking in interviews, like that's what one question I have faced in the recent interview. Okay, what is that is what are the exceptions you face in your Spark? Then generally, we might be thinking from functionality point of view. That's what I try to explain him. But if you tell him from functionality point of view, he doesn't understand, because that guy is working in some area and you are working in some other area. Even if you try to make him understand what you are doing, that guy doesn't try to listen to that. So usually he's expecting some basic exceptions, like null pointer exception, like class cast exception, like uh, like this kind of exceptions. So number format exception, or array index out of bounds exception. The basic average interviewers expect these answers. Okay, they don't expect you to be a charm here. Okay, this is also very important. So if we can throw a couple of exceptions to the interviewer like this, that guy gets satisfied. Actually, these are quite common things which any real-time guy faces. Okay, not only a Scala developer, even a Java guy, even a A C# guy faces these issues. Okay, so these are quite common things, these exceptions. Okay, but this is one question. Maybe you can just make a quick note of this. What kind of exceptions you face in your projects? So he might be expecting these questions. What these answers, like one is null pointer. Usually that is one quite common exception we keep facing. Second thing is a class cast exception. Third thing is a I told you, right, array index out of bounds exception. And fourth thing is you can also add input exceptions. Okay, there are many more, sir. There are a number of exceptions, but there are popular exceptions which keeps coming, that you have to just identify and update to the interview. That's all. Okay, so now I'm switching back to my point. Why that discussion came is because the concept of heterogeneous, while discussing that, I just thought to just throw a light on that as well. So I thought to discuss that. Okay, so this is a simple vector where we are just building a vector with the 3 elements here. This is not something really that difficult to understand. So that is one thing, sir. Okay, so then after that, the other one, if you look at this is something really I like this kind of examples more than this one. Okay, so this is anyhow, this is like the basic examples. But when you go to, when you are a real-time guy, these things are more, this thing matters more for us. Okay, this is anyhow, everybody comes with this. Every trainer or every teacher try to start from here only. But for a real-time guy, these examples are more useful than this example. I don't say they're bad. You have to start from here, but this is something which I personally prefer. Okay, because in a real environment, we try to have collection of objects. We don't try to put seriously this integers, this decimals, this what is that, this strings. It's only happens by learning. But when you seriously go to the application mode or applying mode, we come across those cases very very rarely. It's not like every time we try to have a collection of integers or collection of decimals or collection of strings. That won't be the case. Okay, but the case will be like you have collection of objects. Usually, suppose the data comes like suppose you, if that depends on the project. If it is a medical project, you get a patient object. Suppose if you are dealing with the employees information, employee projects, you get employee details, like human resource project or something, you get human, that thing. Suppose you are dealing with a bank project, then you get what, right, when it is a bank, you have that bank customers, that guy's bank account details. Account is one. Okay, that is one thing you generally face. You generally create, okay, account objects, and then customer object. So this kind of objects exist for a bank project. Okay, suppose you are dealing with a retail one, then you have item information, right? Item objects, you deal with item objects like that. No, your collections have those objects internally. You don't directly try to put integers into a collection and you play with them. That happens at learning level, not on a serious implementation real time projects. Okay, but it's very rare. Might be, if at all, if that situation comes, it's a rare thing. Okay, so this is example 2. Anyhow, we have done the same with the list, and we have done similar thing with the list, even passing objects and trying to, we have done it, right, trying to sort it in the yesterday or day before yesterday session. If you remember, we tried to do that. Okay, and then this is a person object where you have just looking at this, we can understand this is a case class. No doubt about that. These objects belongs to case class. Maybe you can ask me how. All of you know the answer. Do you find any new on before this constructor? No. If you don't see new, these are coming from, these objects are part of build part of case class objects. Okay, so that's about this one. Another way of constructing vector, you might put some objects in the next one. Another kind of construction is this simple example. I'm just showing you only examples here. We can have a vector like this. Okay, 1.0 1.f. This is explicitly float. We are converting into float here. We had a discussion it a long time back. This is one way of constructing vector. And this all automatically gets converted to what type, sir? It's get converted to in, right, decimal, double type, we had a discussion, the casting rules we have discussed some time back, that's what happens. And this is another beautiful scenario where you are coming with a tried animal, and we are extending it to dog and cat, right? So this is something which quite often we implement in a real-time project. Okay, usually to have that loosely coupled implementation, loose coupling. If you want to have loose coupling, you see most of the time in a real-time project, even if you talk our project, the creation of hierarchy starts from abstract classes or traits. Either you have both of this, okay, and they try to add as many abstract methods as possible in the traits, okay, and they try to extend it to different classes. That's what people really do in a real-time project, okay. And then you can see here we are trying to extend animal to dog and a dog and animal to cat here. If you see that, then what we are doing, we're just trying to construct what here a vector object by passing word set. You can see here we are trying to pass what a cat object, a dog object. You can see here, right? So uh, then what else? You 1 minute. Let me scroll it down. I don't know, something extra I have added, but not a problem. What you can do, I'll just remove this. If it doesn't make sense, we can do one thing. So in this vector, we are trying to add what's a dog object, a cat object, and again one more dog and one more. No, just two objects. Here, if you look at this, this is our object. Okay, just observe there. Leave about the rest of the part. Okay. Now you can do one thing. You can remove this part. It's a bit confusing. I'll do one thing. This makes sense. Okay. This makes sense. Okay. This is how we can take it as an example. Okay. So if you look at that, what's here now? If you want, you can remove this too. So that will be more clear for everyone. So you can see the type here. You see. Now we will test all this, sir. I'm just only giving an idea. Right? This gives a loosely coupled implementation. When you pass as animal in the vector, when the type is animal, in that vector, in that collection, you can add any object which implements, which extends this animal. So it might be dog, it might be cat, it might be elephant, it might be zebra, it might be anything. That those objects can be added to this vector, because all those are of what type of animal type. Provided you have to extend animal to those classes. That is important. We will just test it. I'm just only explaining like the different ways of constructing these vector objects. Of course, we know that we had discussed. This is new, not new for us. Okay, so this is constructing empty vector. We know that how to do that. Long back we had discussed. This is not new for us. And then after that, another scenario is this. Right? Like constructing vector of integers. And behind that, we had a discussion, right? What is that, sir? When you have this, there will be a companion object behind this. Very well. We had discussed that. Okay, and inside that companion object, right, we use that apply method. It's long back we had discussed. I'm just trying to, what is that, again, just trying to just brush up those forgotten are the things which were succumbed under the ravages of time. Okay, just trying to bring that out. That's all, sir. So these things, even why I discussed is just to recap, because long back we had discussed, right? We might be keep forgetting things, just to quickly remember. Okay. So that's all about this vector, sir. The basic difference is, right? Probably it's all about the performance difference. Other than that, we don't have big difference between indexed sequence and linear sequence, like list and vector. But the question is, when should we use vector and when should we use a list? If somebody asks this question, now you know the answer for that. If you want to have a fast access, if you want to have a fast retrieval, and if you want to update quickly, then go for vector. when do we go for list? If you want to prepare elements as at the beginning of a data structure or a collection, then you go for that list. So that is big difference between vector and list. That's all. Other than that, okay, the other features are same. That's it, right, sir? So that is simple idea. What we do is, let us quickly test some examples, sir. You do one thing, maybe because you have already have that. I would like you to take this example, sir. You can take this. You prepare a case class for this, sir. This is a raw example. I know this is a raw example. This is not completely okay, completely implemented one. If you look at this here, okay, just add this. Now you get an error with person. All of you know that. Why? Because first that class must exist if you should create an object. Correct? So what should we do then? So why don't you create a case class for that, and why don't you write then after that, like how based looking at the object, it has just one parameter that to name. So the case class which we have to construct here should have just simply one parameter, that is simply speaking case something like class, and you say person. Inside that just take a parameter as name and then just over. Then now all is well. Now we are perfectly good here. Okay, is it clear, sir? So we have just done a quick backtracking, right? This kind of principle approach is nothing but called as backtracking. When you look at the object and when you identify something is there in that, you can understand with that technical, when you have that foundation, it's easy to understand. Okay, there is a case class behind this, so we should implement some case class per person. That's all. So this is backtracking, what we call technically. Okay? So now what I need is, I just want to iterate this vector, and I want to get objects, and from each object what I want is, I want to print that value, and then what is that, right? I want to print that name and see what values are coming. Okay, can you do that for me? So what is that? Iterate. This is the small, right, task for you. Iterate each object from vector, or iterate of vector. Use for or for, or for each. It's up to you what you want to use. But I need some answer on this. Iterate vector and extract name from each person. That's what I need, sir. I don't need objects to be printed. What I need is, again from that that object, there is a name, right? That you have to display. Okay, extract name from each object. Okay, this is the small task set. Why don't you try it? Maybe if you think that it's fine for you. Copy and paste theory. Okay, no issues. Madhu? So you want vector theory. Sir, are you guys okay, sir? Can I have an yes or no from you? I think, are you good, sir, so far? Or did I bore you? Are you clear with what we had discussed till now in this session? What I'm asking about is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Manohar, it's clear.
So other things we know, as we know, sir, we have implemented those methods for list. Same methods you can try for vector. If you have a doubt, we will see few methods on this. Okay. So please, this is the task for you. What I need is iterate that vector and try to extract object from name from each object. That's what I need. Nothing more than that. It is a small task. Okay. Do it, sir. Take a couple of minutes and try to implement it. Remaining theory. Okay, I didn't paste the whole one. Sorry, Madhu. I did. I didn't. I don't know that completely. It's not there. So till what point you got it there? Might be okay. There will be a limit, right? So you got up to this one. Huh? Okay, fine. I'm pasting remaining as well, Madhu. I don't know. I didn't see that. Okay, sorry. Okay, sir. Shall I try this? Shall I try to
We
test it,
got
sir?
it. We got it.
Yeah. I'll just do it for the sake of right, so that if anybody has any doubts on that, it will be clear for everyone. So what shall I do now? I'm using for loop here to iterate it. For maybe you can take anything like some p. That's what the variable I'm choosing, and then my right. This one is this collection is people. Now when I iterate it, every time you get a person object. On that, what we have to do? We have to apply a method like we should get name. But that's simply what you can do, right? So the easiest way is you can simply say println of p dot name. It's a so simple thing, okay? Because right, there is a this is an instance variable here, so that what happens? It's easy to access it through reference, right? Now p acts as a reference when you are iterating every time that objects in the vector. What happens? That p acts as a reference. On that you can call that variable name here. So that's the easiest way. It's not something difficult at all. So just run it, and you can see perfectly we got a perfect output here. Okay, the other methods, if you want, you can also apply those methods as well. Okay, so what do we do is can I give a small task with map method? Are you ready for that on vector? Is it fine, sir, if I give a small task on map with map? So convert all these names to lowercase. Apply a map method. Convert all the strings in vector to lowercase. Apply map or flat map. Anything is your choice. Maybe flat map gives a little different output, but map could be fine here. So this is another task for you, sir. Try it now. You can try this also, sir. Let's see how we can apply these transformations on these collections. Okay, map is a transformation, filter is a transformation. Okay, if you want, you can add more objects also for testing purpose. Okay, so please try this also, sir. This is another small task for you. Convert everything to lowercase here by using the map function. Okay, map method, otherwise whatever it is. Sir, if it is done, just confirm, sir. Then we can do one more small task. Meanwhile, shall I try this, sir? All of you are done, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Then it is so simple. Something val some. Okay. People one equal to people dot map of. Then you can do one thing. F of, right? You can apply a lambda here, right? So what you can do, F dot F dot, what is that? We have a function, right? So it is trying to do,
Two
okay.
lowercase. Two
No,
lowercase.
it won't come. F dot name dot, I have to say, to lowercase. Why? Because first F is the object, sir, person object. On top of that, I should get name, and on that we should apply lowercase, right? I think you might have done the same, right, Bharat sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Same thing.
Okay. Okay. Need to again. So this is another scenario. We can see the whole object got converted to lowercase here, right? Another use case, sir. Add few more objects. What we can do? Shall we apply a filter here? Small filter. So something like okay, just for no implementation only, applying, that's all, nothing more than that, sir. So you do one thing, display all the names which starts with right, apply a filter, sir. What the filter should be is you have to display all the names that start with uh, some C, okay, or some otherwise try with H, sir. That is, you can apply a filter there. And like this. So let's apply a small filter here. Display all names which starts with H. Try this, sir. Might be filter is the best choice here. Check it which would fit here. A simple scenario, it doesn't take much time, right? What do you have to do? Val people 2 equal to, you can simply do like, you can do it in different ways. You have to apply what, sir? Filter. Okay, then arrow mark, and then on that p dot name dot, you can apply starts with the, then if you say something like h, okay, probably this will filter every name that starts with h here, sir. Okay, you can see that. Simple. I don't think this is difficult. They're straightforward as well. Let us see if we are getting. Now I should print people 2, not people 1. Let me print it, sir. Perfect. Okay, if I want exactly, so like this, you can right, keep on applying whatever methods you want, sir. You can find length of each one. You can see that, right? Or based on length, suppose print all strings, right, whose length is greater than 5, greater than 4, like that. That is one more case where you can apply filter. Okay, in flat map, right, again on string, if you want to do again flattening, and then still if you want to do something there, we apply flat map. And similarly, group by, one more scenario, group by, sort by, you can apply that as well if you want to. So we have done sort by on Saturday. Maybe you can try one more time. Sort all these strings by names, because as we already know, sort all strings by name. Okay. You can try this as well. It's a simple scenario, right, sir? What is that? Val sum. Because we have applied, we have discussed one session completely. We had discussed about that. Simply, you can say people dot, you can take all this and then simply say sort by. You can apply sort by here. That would be the best fit for us. Underscore dot. Then, sorry, I should apply underscore. It's hyphen. Okay. Underscore dot name. That's all. Still n. Okay. And then just simply what, println of something like you can simply say people 3. And every time, right, as this is immutable, we are trying to assign it to a new variable. That is one thing which we always need to keep in mind when you are working with immutable objects or immutable collections. Probably you can see there when I print people 3, C, E, E, H, you can see the sorting is, we are seeing the sorting there. And then H is there, and then M, and then M, that's all. You can see there, right? So in this way, you can keep on applying what's it? Methods on vector. All those methods you can test it yourself, sir, because we have already applied on list. We have spent some 3 or 4 sessions to understand those methods. Okay, right now you can also try it yourself. Now you can test all those methods, apply all those methods which we applied on list on vector. That is going to help us a lot. It gives you more, what is that, familiar, that it makes you more comfortable with those methods. Okay, so So that's about vectors, sir. I think you got an idea, right? Same thing, we know we have implemented array as well in the hierarchy. You look at it, array is done, string is done. Range and numeric range, anyhow. So usually they provide range of values. So we will take these as miscellaneous topics, and we will discuss one weekend. I will plan for this miscellaneous topics. Okay, one weekend, some 1 or 2 hours. We will quickly walk through all this. I'm not going to leave anything. Don't we don't need to worry about that. But now what I'm doing is just focusing on important classes here. Vector is good, list is good to know, hash set is good, and then list set is good, tree set is good here. Hash map is good, list map is good, tree map is good. Tomorrow I'm going to finish all this. At least list part I will finish, and map part one more day. Then we will see the difference between immutable and mutable hierarchies. The difference is we can change mutable objects, we can't change immutable objects. That is the difference. But methods, everything will be almost similar, sir. The kind of implementation doesn't change, but still no issues, sir. Okay. Any more questions apart from these things, sir? Madhu and Veer Prasad, if you can share your contacts. What I have done is we created a group for exclusively for the people who are regular to the sessions, so that you can discuss among yourself. So we don't have a restriction in this group here. So I don't know if it is any restriction applied. If it is there also, I will remove that. Yeah, can you please share your contact? Not name, Prasad. I need your number, phone number or mobile number. Okay, and then even Madhu. See, if it is comfortable, I don't have an issue there. That's only just for right? Making sure. Okay, I think Harish has given, right? So that's all. I will just add both of you to the group so that now anybody can answer anybody's questions there. So you can help each other. Okay, even I will be also, what is that part of it? Any more questions, sir? Any more questions? Are you good for this? Is it clear for all of you, sir? I think I have uploaded the sessions. Just only need to add name Sandeep. No, I'll just do that. Okay, and you can prepare your notes. Okay? Maybe if you think that it's good, you can share with the people in the WhatsApp also. That's good. Everybody can have that. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Good night.